first series today. I'm W1, this is Kyle, and we're going to go straight into the game. VP versus NEWBEE. That's the reason why we're moving in quickly, because Ramses is already taking a lot of damage. KP and Kaka dual laning the off lane against Ramses and Solo. Quickly before we run through our lanes and we do our little try screen, what do you think of the draft? The panel had a couple of thoughts, but so did you.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to VP's like far superior team fight and whether NEWBEE can outlast that. They have a lot of control with very limited damage output. They need Void to get to a point where he's a real carry hero and they can take longer team fights, because you have a Fatal Bombs, you've got the Rum, you've got all these burst damage from VP. If they make a fight last 10-15 seconds, they're going to win it every time. But if NEWBEE can kind of sustain through that, the Void can stay alive and just, again, be a real carry. He will counter the Slark, but he needs a lot of items to get there.
Yeah, that's the way the Void works. Is that when, like, it's Battle Fury, right? Has to be Battle Fury, has to be heavy farming. They're off to a half-decent start with actually VP. It ends up being a 2-2 room. She was able to contest the Faceless Void.
And I'm really low on these Vayne DK heroes. I'm not huge fans of them because it feels like they're very limited wave clear. The panel was talking about what items you like to see DK go. In this game, I'd love the Shadow Blaze. I'm all about Armlet Maelstrom. I really think Maelstrom's utilized on DK. It's something that was used to be picked up back in like 2015-16. I think it's perfect for the hero, and it makes up for his lack of wave clear and his weakness when he has no K form. Because you just feel like a bad hero when you're walking around with just a stick.
It just feels like everything there is it's wrapping up into that DK form. So make sure you're strong enough to fight at that point. So yeah, I can understand why it goes the opposite direction too. Burrow Strike a little bit short from KP. Interesting to also see that KP, like, I wanted to have him with a stunning hero. Like that for me, like every time I see KP go Australia, with him on a stunning style offlaner, things always go a lot better for NEWBEE, but only when he gets his initiating item. And SK, with the help of Kaka, I'm assuming this should go pretty well for him.
Yeah, the thing is they, again, DK has to itemize for damage, because otherwise you have the Chrono. Void needs like 3-4 items, and Sand King, yeah, he can blink in with an Epi, right? But they're so cooldown dependent. With no Epi, they don't really have any damage to follow the Chrono because that Lesh isn't a core.
That Fatal Bond's not helping out KP and Kaka at all. They back up behind the tower, making sure they don't get leashed up by the Slark.
The solo playing, so he has the 2 mangoes too, and Slark is such a strong laner now, especially with the assistance of a Warlock. He's got 4.2 base regen and the heal spam. I mean, what do you do?
KP's still going to have a decent time on bottom just thanks to Caustic Finale and Ramses. He can regen up this a little bit later on, but lane presence-wise, like KP's already got some really good CS. They're having a little bit of play up on top lane. Difficult for Pasha as well as Roger to get a kill on any of, like, both of these heroes. You got Time Walk away for one, and you got Brain Sap for another. So the sustainability that we're talking about is still there in the early levels. Probably another little small thing to touch on. Normally, VP as a team we say has won every single lane, but how do they actually win these lanes against NEWBEE? It's so stable that it seems like both teams, all they have is an even trade until the first rotation happens.
And I do like that from NEWBEE, because we were talking about that off camera last night about how NEWBEE just seems to get abused in every laning phase, and they made sure this game, you know, maybe they won't win their lane, but they aren't going to lose.
They're after Roger, thanks to that time dilation point from Mugi. Roger is so low, but he'll still survive. In fact, his face is in trouble. Brain Sap's off cooldown in 2 seconds time. But bottom lane, Solo underneath the tower. One more hit from KP will do that, while up on top, the axe from Pasha will find that kill. Ramses is still in a little bit of blood of hurt. It's Kaka and KP. They're connected together, actually. Kaka, KP, stop taking damage. You're killing off Kaka right now. Yeah. Actually, Kaka's denying himself to Wild Wings before Solo can get him.
Yeah, the thing about this lane is that you need to find kills if you're NEWBEE, because otherwise you just trust the lane, just Slarky farms empty tower, but it's less Sand King. I mean, you won't out-regen a Warlock lane, but you can always find kills with the stun combos, as we just saw. And part of the reason these 2 heroes are picked in conjunction, because they're such a strong dual lane off, and you always have the threat of just the Lesh mid, the Lesh carry. You can do anything with this hero. My favorite personally, and I'm glad to see it rising to its true #1 pick status, because it's worth.
I want to keep my eyes on this mid lane a little bit more. It's been an even trade-off, but it's the progression of STCC.
I mean, it's DK Kanka. They're just gonna smash each other and nobody dies.
Yeah.
There's nothing really to say about it.
I suppose you can't even force the lane too, can you? Because the Kunks can just push back the 3 points up in Tidebringer means that you got a Dragon Form, but you can't put a creep wave under the tower. Faith in a world of hurt on top lane. Nightmare just keeping the Beastmaster down again into the time dilation. The sleep was switched off by Roger, trying to allow Pasha the ability to dive after Faith. 2 points up with the Axis. He's looking for the hit onto Faith. He'll connect both times as Faith wants to brain step out the life from Roger with concussive and all. Faith is so low. 19 HP. He's got 17. He's got 7 stick charges available. That won't be enough as Roger goes in deeper for the kill. He actually did burn the 6 charges too. Time walk forward from Moogie, getting aggressive onto Roger. There's no way this guy survives again on 50 HP. The Axis fly. Time dilation still on cooldown. In fact, they turn it around. Moogie, he needs a little bit of extra help. The Nightmare will do so. Pasha forced to stand where he is. With the 2 points brain sap, they need to get a little bit more damage in before he can kill off Pasha. And they're going for the bounty rune. Okay, this is greedy Pasha. Moogie can time walk into a bash, but they're not going to do it.
Yeah, they saw he had the stick. And man, Moogie cannot buy a bash to save his life. He was 0 for 6 there, but I love his decision to skill time dilation. That's the only reason this lane is not just a total annihilation, because he's able to prevent the spam of the axes and the bolt. Because your hit's always going to be pressuring you with Sky Easy, but this buys his Bane that extra 10 seconds or so to get another brain tap off. So he will die, but they're getting favorable trades. They get one bash, he'll get a counter kill.
Yeah.
There's a reason these two heroes are picked so often. They're like, you really cannot do much against this sort of lane. They just spam, and you can see Bane, Faith just coming back to lane, spamming brain tap off cooldown, but still not enough to sustain.
He needs more levels to make this work properly for him. Bottom lane also, KP 28 for 7 now on this Sand King. Ramses, he was beginning his TP right in front of KP.
He misclicked. He TP'd back to tier 1.
Okay. Well, that's not good to burn that. Especially if there's some rotation. SCC's burned his Dragon Form as Roger rotated towards the mid lane.
I like this too from KP. The core Sand King is just a 1-to-1 counter of the Slark in lane, just because you really can't touch creeps, especially when you're threatened with the double stun as well. Yep. And he just goes treads. So 1100 HP, very strong laner now, and Slark is in a lot of trouble because while, yeah, you can probably sustain with that Warlock, he just dies if he ever catches the stun in a creep wave.
Yeah, and that's what KP's looking for. Fire Strike, creep waves there underneath the tower, but it was a little bit too late for the Split Earth. This Ramp is very quick on the Dark Pack, but they're going to go for everything into KP. They know he has no Fire Strike. Fire Strike now up off cooldown, goes through two. Kaka wants to create more space with the lightning, gets one stun. But KP, he's connected to the creep wave, which is now dead, so he... No! Okay, Solo's got him. Yeah, it's fine.
He was dead. He had like an extra 100 of damage coming in thanks to the W as well.
Yeah.
The nice rotation, though. And you see
top lane, Nightmare from Faith, actually stopping the TP out from Skywrath Mage. Moogie moves over, and they can just bash down Roger. Faith actually just secures it with a brain sap instead.
And it's a nice kill. And not only that, I really want to bring up the point. This is something VP does all the time. They rotate their cores, and a support TPs to the lane abandoned to catch that creep wave instead of letting it go to waste. They do this nearly every single time, and it's something I think other teams might want to learn from, because those 4 creeps that were just lost in the tower is as good as a hero kill and denies gold damage.
Good combination again going to work over on Solo. The 2 points in Shadow was giving him a lot of life back, and Ramses jumps over towards Kaka. They need to make this work, but for KP, he'll have to burn the Fire Strike in order to do so. He can hide inside the Sandstorm just out of range of the tower. He dodges the attack with that, and then straight into the tree to pop back up again.
He has Epi soon. He'll get that before Slark is 6 as well, so that's going to be a kill. But Ramsey's been very good with getting the stuns off of the stun pack. One of the best, if not the best.
SDCC's rotation's coming. Haste Rune, he's got the Soul Ring up. Observer Ward did scout that movement out, however, and this is the reason why Solo and Ramses are back behind the tower.
Great work. He has another one mid as well.
Raw up on top. They are very, very deep. This is tier 2 tower level. Moogie, he can't jump away, or can he? He seals, time walk, 1 second. Pasha gets the hit in. But because SDC had the haste rune, but up top quickly, and now is on the chase after Pasha.
He's not going to catch him, but I really think VP
he should be able to face moving over. No Nightmare available, actually. He can't stop him. There's a lot of wasted time of STCC.
Yeah, this is already not worth it, even if they do land this kill. So many creeps have been wasted from mid and bottom lane, or mid and top lane.
Oh, they do have the kill. STC needs a TP scroll to get back to mid pretty quickly, but he doesn't have one.
Real quick though, these wards, the one middle and the one bottom, as a DK, Death Prophet, all these heroes that have a tower pushing ult, they usually want to rotate to the enemy safe lane, kill the carry, get the tower. These two wards defend that area, and they sniff out the rotation that you can actually always expect from this sort of hero. So really intelligent warding from Solo. You don't want to waste them in the top area of the map because you're just going to have a beast there, and as you just saw, you really don't care if he dies because their dies in tier 2. That's their job. Make space for your Slark and protect the Slark most importantly.
KP and Kark are just shrined up. They're going to be looking to actually kill off that Slark if possible. Meanwhile, up on top, Faceless Void has hit 6, so you have Epicenter available, you have Faceless Void Chrono available. A lot of the big combinations that NEWBEE need to sync together to start to work. X marks spot, they're trying to go on Kark or Ramsey. The Firefights held him out for a little bit longer. This is great timing from VP because they're able to get both of the bounty runes on bottom and get KP into a defensive position.
Drum's gonna be the item choice for SCCC. I think Drum's Maelstrom's gonna come back, man. Wait till the end of the event. Up top, solo kill on Nuke.
Small moment when Faith was backing out. They were moving down the river, but got the roar into the Faceless Void. And the amount of damage when you got Medallion, he was able just to get through the Faceless Void.
This is one thing Pasha, like, he plays so aggressive in this offlane. He's got no vision, completely by himself, but he's always making things happen. And it buys so much space for his other cores, Nolan and Rams, who often get all the credit, but man, Pasha does his job.
X marks the spot, in for the turret, support, but not coming in fast enough. Or maybe it is. With a Nightmare out, Skywrath Mage is kind of locked. You still get the kill over on the Faith, but Moogie's TP in. He was ready if this fight was going to sustain to drop that Chronosphere, but they managed to force a rotation as well from KP.
Just too many rotates forced this bottom lane getting abandoned. I mean, KP's going to get back to catch the creep wave. DK TP's in, but look at the vision. Once again, another high ground ward place, this one for free because these rotations are happening. So there's total vision control in this area from Solo. One on the high ground above the tower and another one to the left of the easy camp.
They're coming to a snare, KP. Solo's got rock, so there's no way KP could hide inside a sandstorm. No other choice but to Burrow strike away.
And the VP, this is part of why they're the best in the world, man. They have such a good read on the game, and look at this, a smoke now.
So do they fight?
Towards bottom, yeah, of course you do.
Is this Golem? Okay, you've got Golem, but you've still got Epicenter as well as Faceless Void Chrono. He's going to be pushing the tier 1 tower. Is this really what you want to fight?
I think you can. You don't need to, but it's certainly a thing. And what I also like is that, oh no, they saw Void, I believe, on the ward.
Yeah, that would be an easier kill for him. With Mystic Flare, all they need to do is hit the Roar. Observe Ward, so moving your friend side.
Silence now.
Moogie back out into the trees. Roar is out. There's Mystic Flare. TP's coming back. CCC's going to finish the job. He's finishing that tier 1 tower on bottom, but Solo's having a solo battle here with Karka, which he can actually win. He's got Rock as well as the ability. Okay, he can't win this one. KB, Fire Striker to Epicenter.
Dude, there's so many moves. Like, VP's playing this, like, it's clinical. First off, they placed another ward during that smoke. So now they have 2 wards placed in the enemy bottom jungle. They rotate the Slark mid as this all goes down, as he takes the lane down with no enemy heroes to just continue free farming. No one is now top. He's killing that tower. They get a tower trade, a kill on enemy core, a ward blaze, and again, more space for Slark. You can't do this well if you're not VP. Like, this is some good shit. Like, this is high tier Dota, and the last 2 minutes, 3 minutes have been just excellent. Every person understanding what their role is. Solo even ensuring that if anyone's gonna die, it's him.
The way to run it, the sacrificial man. He's always being praised for.
Look at this now.
The war is like no one's been up there for such a long time, and yet you get the solo kill on the Faceless Void. Thanks, Ramses.
Man, that's great. That's like an alley-oop, and then your whole bench just starts pointing at the guy that got dunked on. That's why I love tips, man. It's the best thing that happened to Dota in like a long time, I swear. And the people that want this removed, honestly, you're awful people.
I'm happy to have it throttled into something which is less invasive in overlays, but yeah, it can save. That's my only debate for it. Middle lane, Faith is wrapping around the back. Their Observe Ward just timed out, but they get the X-Mark spot over onto Kaka. He turns on the Pulse Server, does as much damage as he can before he dies. But his mid-tower fortification is the only thing that's delaying Virtus Pro. They're trying to get a revenge tower on the top. KP's ready with Blink Dagger, ready to fight. No Epicenter available for him. But this is at least a half-decent trade-off from NEWBEE. Like, the gold advantage isn't getting out of control for them. Yes, they'll lose their T1 tower in mid, but the trade-off is the T1 tower on top.
But the other thing is this whole time, VP always making moves as floor. As they make a move, Ramsey runs in the opposite direction from farming because he understands his role. He'll have a Shadow Blade finish soon, then he can start getting involved. But VP, clinical in their movements, never committing more resources than necessary and taking efficient trades all over the map. You're going to lose towers against the DK, but they've killed the hero that we discussed, needing to have a good game, Mugi's voice.
They're out looking
He's
for
in
the
the
fight.
dumpster right now.
They're looking for KP. KP needs to blink right now, and he is able to blink. Got sealed a little bit first, the bottom lane. Pasha's on the run away underneath that T1 tower. The raw of Fiend's Grip, way too good. Holding Pasha in position, and a much-needed kill. While up on top, the Epicenter, no one. He's got the ship coming in. Hiding inside the Sandstorm will not work. And it will be a one-for-one trade-off for the off-lane for off-lane.
Not just that, they get all 4 runes, too.
Chrono, Warlock. I like it. You'll take what you can get. Mugi, with the Mask of Madness and Chronosphere, at least he knows he can kill the Warlock off guaranteed, even without the help of DK.
They got 1,400 gold from runes, though.
Yep.
That Warlock kill was worth 344.
Slash better get his own kill in mid. First reveal of the Shadow Blade. You already hit Lefrak with concussive. Faith, how do you stop this nightmare? Your own teammate was the only way to do it. Difficult when Ramsey's already is triggering the Dark Pack, so even if he does take the nightmare back, he just breaks it off.
I'm just enjoying it, man. I don't care if VP wins a game in 10 minutes. It's always fun to cast them because they're just always playing such exceptional Dota. I feel like you can learn from them in any game that they play.
Yeah, they are a terrific team. Mid lane is where NEWBEE is now worrying about the defense. They have no Chronosphere for 80 seconds, and Virtus Pro are on the hunt. Ramsey is wrapping around on the top lane, hoping that someone comes out to defend, and that's a position which Kaka's not going to run to, and SDC doesn't want to come out there either. The Burrow Strike forward, creating space from KB into the Lightning, looking for the double zone. Kaka can't connect, but now you roar into the Mythic Flare. SDCC just cannot survive as the SK is on the run, but he'll be pulled back in by the X-Mark spot. Ramsey's with a double kill, now chalking up 5 in total. Tier 2 tower to fall, and NEWBEE, they are slowly being choked out on their own side of the map.
And just these simple plays. No one's shoving that top wave. In the meantime, you run around and cut this 4. You get a little skirmish started. NEWBEE gets baited into a fight, but there's a Warlock in a boat. Like, no one's just right over there. He's just looking down the street like, oh, game's starting. Like, let me come out to play. He drops a boat. All of a sudden, the X finds a follow-up kill. Much like Disruptor, Tonka's great at ensuring you get that next kill. If you get the fight, you're always going to get that +1. And it's just great because it's 2 cores that go down. And I mean, SCCC's going for a BKB, but by the time he picks that up, is he really even going to be in a position to win his team a team fight? They're 6K down already.
And at this point, too, I think the raw control that Pasha's been able to offer has just been too much. He actually has a Shadow Blade of his own coming in. So once you have the BKB, you still need to trigger him before you get hit.
Look at this down bottom. He baits the DD.
Oh,
he breaks the smoke.
That's probably the best scenario though for NEWBEE because the double damage slot. If they didn't actually see him coming, they would have died. KP's in the tree, they're burning off the drum charge. Now is Epicenter, blink borrow time. They need some kind of answer. The Burrow Strike, it doesn't connect. The rest of NEWBEE is on the way. Chronosphere is up. Faceless Void, where's that position? Mugi is so late to this fight, they haven't had it. They Fiends from the Skywrath Mace to kill him off with Ramsey. He's ready to fight. Mugi, time dilation. Get revenge and the Chronosphere onto Pasha. Mugi runs back into him, but Slash, he's going 1-on-3. The Burrow Strike, they're holding Slash in position. Where's the follow-up damage? It isn't there. The Dark Pact, as well as the Shadow Dance. Ramsey just breaks free out of it, and then just bonded up. SCCC needs to turn, but he can't. He just gets flipped up by the Torrent. And it's a sealed up Mugi time walking away, leaving KP to die. Sentry Ward is down, the Sand is revealed. 4 heroes from NEWBEE pushing up the daisies, and Virtus Pro lasting all the way to the bank, or potentially the Roche Pit.
They're just the little things. There's so much to talk about every single team that they take. they initially go for the skirmish. The moment that sleep save comes out, they back off. They understand we can't overextend. We sit here for seconds. We catch an epi. A void comes in with a chrono. We're going to just get wiped. You don't want to sit in a choke point as 5. Ramses used both pounces later on in that re-engage defensively because he recognizes if he pounces in at any point, he'll die with pack down. This is something BSJ was in awe of when we were casting ESL because it's every single time. He gets a couple essence shift procs, he uses the pack, but he saves pounce and uses it defensively whenever he's slightly exposed, and he goes down to the less than 20% twice in that fight, but he's getting Warlock healed and he just regens.
It seems almost too easy for this Slark, man. And I'm wondering, like, how does NEWBEE even now try and stop this? Like, I beg the question, like, should Mookie have been there a little bit earlier? Should they have been reading that fight was going to happen, so they actually had the chronosphere on their side of the river and not chasing Nathan where the tier 1 tower used to be for BB and mid?
Well, it all starts with ward as well. They switch the vision up. Now they have control of the Dire top jungle. 2 wards. They see the enemy positioning, and again, they bait out that smoke from Ramses. In the meantime, the rest of the team is smoking right back at the enemy side. It's so fast.
I can't believe they got a full Solar Crest as well now on Pasha. Like, you want enabling or disabling, like it's gonna be there, and Slark has himself an Echo Saber, stealing the essence so early on, and so quick.
No one beat SCCC to BKB, and he bought an armlet extra as well. Like, he's a full armlet ahead, and the BKB is still 1,000 gold away on the Dragonite as well, so you still can't take fights. You use this to have the BKB, you just run it with the Roche bit. How do you lose the fight now? Just dead. All the balls back up, I mean, what do you do?
And you get Nagus the Immortalist back up, and that's essence the hands of the Slarks and let him go offensive. And every time he walks over any observer wall that NEWBEE's got, he's got 3 sentries in his backpack ready to remove them too. This should actually be a high ground push, right? They just go straight up either top or mid. Like, Slark's pushing in the top lane at the moment because Ramses doesn't need to be there in the mid for this push. Maybe SCCC's going to get a trade-off. It's the tier 2 tower on bottom lane. With a catapult wave, it's up to VP if they want to go back to defend this or if they want to go up. Their intent will be known just by seeing if someone is sent back. It seems the intent is to continue. Tier 2 towers being attacked. Void's farming up. Void as well as SK are farming up the Radiant jungle. The only safe place for them to be, and now they'll TP back in preparation for the fight.
This vintage VP though, man, they're always playing more lanes than you. Slark shoves top, that's near the tier 3. Mid in the tier 3. Slark's already bottom, taking that wave. And yeah, KP cuts mid, but they're not looking to push, they're just expanding their lead. Look top.
Yep, they're going after Moogie. Hit him down with a boat, but this is just... they're not even properly committing to this. It's like they're trying to get NEWBEE to believe that they're looking for a proper fight, when really they're just burning, like, low cooldown abilities.
50 seconds, you spend a cooldown, you ensure that 5 NEWBEE heroes are now back in the base.
Yep, they all came back too. So NEWBEE are coming out for a fight. Moogie's the only one who's not under this smoke. And as far as vision goes, he is underneath the observer ward.
But they're going to be in a good position. You still can't take a team fight against VP. Slark's going to run in with Aegis. Kunkka has BKB. Neither one of these heroes is killable.
There's 2 sentry wards already down. There's an Invis rune on the Kunkka. Actually, he's walking away from the fight. NEWBEE are looking to fight on bottom lane, but the face is Void. Without his Chronosphere, they've got nothing, and that's who Ramses is looking at, and that's who Ramses has support in order to kill. They just steal him up, they pull him back in with the X-Master, but on bottom lane, Beastmaster is the trade-off. But look at the rotation. Solo's got Rock and a level 3 Feather Bonds. He wants to just drop this and let absolutely rip.
Buyback on Void is ready.
And here it comes. BKB from no one. They're holding the Rock. SCCC. Now the Rock will drop. Catching the 3 heroes, all in Fatal Bonds, and this is basically the end of the fight now for NEWBEE. Fate is able to get a full duration Fiend's Grip off, and that's only because VP allowed it to be so. So much essence being stolen. Ramses doesn't care if he dies. He got 25 essence shifted into him. This game feels like it's done, and the rack doesn't even be taken.
Dude, the damage output of the Fatal Bombs in the Comfort Cleave is insane. Ramses did not die with both up, and it's just so easy. Yeah, Pasha died, right? But obviously it's for a good cause. The Void's already down. That means the team fight turnaround from NEWBEE is just dead completely.
Without Chrono, they can't fight, right?
Exactly. but they like, oh, they want to get this counter kill on Beastmaster, and it's just a bait. You get the Fatal Bonds on DK Bane, and yeah, you might miss the bow combo, but you can see the pre-BKB, just get your spells off. It's the bow buff that's most important. The one crit takes out nearly both supports. He tanks the full grip, but it doesn't even matter. DK has a BKB, but as Black said in the pregame, you don't do any damage with these item builds. And yeah, this is better than a Hood and a Blink, but they're so far behind at this point, like no one's now going to be 2 full items ahead. He's got a Crystalist.
Yeah, they needed to snowball with the Chronosphere kills, but the first 2 Chronosphere kills that happened were on supports only. Like it was Solo, I think actually, he was the only one that died. And here we go again, the Nightmare save is out for Darkpack. Ramsey takes the Nightmare, hits back into him, and he's still got the Shadow Dance going inside the base, pouncing around, misses the hit on the face, but it may not matter. So much control from the backline, pounds off cooldown in 1 second time, and yeah, with 34 agility stacked up, remember he doesn't have the plus 120 second essence shift duration. He's just hitting that quickly. VP looking for fight after fight. Ramsey is he's never losing this advantage. It's plus 102 agility stolen, hitting KP more, bounces up a little bit higher. This game is really done like a dinner. Good game. GG.
That 25 minutes, Toby, and I honestly think that if you're a team and you're watching this back home at the hotel, or any player that wants to improve, I think that no matter what role you play, you can watch the counterpart on VP.